Tubers, Colorado's finest on this nice rainy day. And from the last grow, sitting in the garage, just saying, well, you know, it'd be really nice is to be able to have two lights spaced apart exactly where I want them connected together. So that's what we're going to do. Simple little bracket. Let's get you some of these. If I can actually get it to zoom, probably not. The 1.5 by 1.5 4-footers. Got all these nice holes. I did have to cut out those two gaps there, but on this side, this hole here where my thumb is, and I believe it's this hole here, or it's this hole here, the screws line up. Basically on the side here, this screw, it's going to mount those two, and that's going to give us an attachment. So we're going to do that. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Me and the cannabis growing grandpa over here. We're going to get to working on this, and we'll show you the final results. I won't record the whole entire process, so we'll be in and out as I go through step by step. Very simple. I won't tell you measurements because you got to do your own measurements. We kind of just cheated and put tape on the table of the space that I'm growing in and figured out what gaps from the wall to the light itself, gap from light to light. That's kind of what we did. So if you don't want to mess with the math, being that this is actually going to be 3 lights, I'm not connecting all 3 of them together, just these 2. You may ask, why not? The weight, it's too freaking heavy. I'm going to use a 4 ratchet, 4 ratchets on this. The reason why I'm doing just these 2 will be the ones in the back. The scrog net is going to be there. I can reach the first one real easy. It'll be these ones are a little bit harder, and to get them even. So now all I'll have to do is just reach back and grab the straps and adjust both of these at the same time, which are on the back of the scrog. So that's what we're doing. Let me get to working, and like I said, I'll be in and out. I don't know what the price was, but very cheap is all I could tell you. But yeah, I picked that up. I got the whole thing in my hand. They will both adjust so you don't have any crookedness off. What I've noticed is I had on the Monster Grow, when I was watching them, I had to adjust about mid flowering. I had the back one was a little bit higher than the front one. I'll just say that because that's the way I look at the lights. You probably won't know which one I'm talking about, but standing where the scrog was, the one in the back, the hard one to reach, was a little bit higher. And what I noticed, the plant was starting to, the buds were kind of reaching up a little bit for the light versus the front. So I ended up correcting it, which made it all level. But I would say the key is to keep these as level as you can get when you run multiple lights, and to keep a cooling distance between the 2. It's more than enough. I got a huge fan that actually blows over all these lights, but making sure they face the right direction. I've actually mounted lights before and realized one's facing the opposite way, which makes it hard to get to. But that's the custom made Colorado finest bracket, all did and done. So I'm gonna bring out the 192 by 3, and I'm actually gonna do these brackets on it, not for tying them together, but as you can see somewhere with an S hook. I have to find it in this pile of rubbish. You can actually do that, and now you got a hanging point that's solid, and it is super low profile, so you don't have to do the chains, you don't have to do the zip ties. Now you got a mounting point that's going to keep the lights, giving you the highest adjustment possible if you're running these in tents. And that's what I do, and that's why you hear me bitch a lot about the factory brackets. There's a factory bracket. So adding this much height to a light in a tent For me, doing a scrog is not too big of a deal, but at the same time, running high power lights, 5 watts, things like that that have to have the distance. I was running these at 8 inches above the buds, so I could have ran these brackets they came with, but I don't like to have these on there because just in case you need that extra 4 or 5 inches, like she always says, you'd be screwed blued with that. So. And that'd be the blue ball syndrome you'll end up having. Y'all have a good one, Colorado's finest. Right here, 3 144 3s are going to be doing the Super Monster grow. They're now officially installed with the new brackets. Now I can get some nice adjustments going on. Another thing I'd like to do is we got a welding rod going through, and this is not for any kind of support purposes. It's not for any of that. This is to help me see if the lights are high, low, if they're lined up left to right. If you have even 2 lights, having a rod go through them can really help you out. I mean, I just like to center my lights to have the maximum amount of footprint as I can in my growing space areas. I mean, that's one of the main reasons to my growing success is, you just got to know your environment and get the best out of what you got. It may not be, the best amount of wattage or whatever the case is, but if you do the simple math and you space everything out right, you'll get the most efficient grow out of what you have. And that's the key. So by me doing the math this is 4 inches, this is 4 1/8, this is 4 1/8, and the gap between the wall and the other light's 4 1/8, and the gap between the edge of here and the center of the tent is 4 1/8. So so as you can see, the gap between here and this wall will be the same on the other side. So the light's going to be perfectly centered as best as I can get it. And that's how it is. So if you wanted to grow a longer space, say like let's say 6, 8, an 8-foot space, then you would take 2 of these and turn them the other direction, because they have a 6-foot footprint going the other way. So you would take these, turn them around, that'd be 6 feet, and then this would be 8 feet facing this way at the end of it. So that's how you would do an 8-foot grow area, is you take 2 of these, turn them the other direction, and give them a longer footprint, and take this one and cap it off. So that's how it all is. Just want to show the brackets, simple. Just do what you got to do, but just make sure it's strong. These brackets are stronger than the light fixtures themselves. Another big respect to the builders with these 144 3s or the reflector series. Most of you may look at these screws and I thought they were self-tapping screws. It's some bullshit cheesy, it's just to hold these 2 pieces together to hold the lid on. No, it's actually it goes through this first piece, but it's threaded. It's an actual bolt. Every one of these are a bolt. They're not a screw. So that's badass. So I did have to get longer 1-inchers because I added the washer and plus the thickness of the metal and that. So I grabbed a little bit longer bolts than the ones that were factory in. Same thread. I don't remember what thread pitch is. Just take one down to your hardware store with the size you need if you modify it yourself. But yeah, they're all bolts, not freaking cheap ass drywall screws or self-tapping screws. They're the real deal. And here's the single one. Reason why it has just its own brace, but I mean, look at the height gain. It's like I explained, when you do chains and all the other crap, you lose your lift. If you're growing big colas and you get a big stretching plant, say Sweet Confidential is one of the ones I got. That is the most notorious big stretching plant. If you don't know your history on it, look it up. That it's a badass plant to grow, but it is known to do super stretching. It's ridiculous. Well, you better have a way to lift your lights as high as you can in case you just don't plan right and the plant just does what it does. So I make sure I can utilize and maximize as high as I can go. So the last thing you want to do is have to be either having your colas hitting the roof or hitting your light fixtures or anything like that. So that's just me. That's the way I do it. That's the 144.3s. As far as the 192, the 192, I just went with the chain method for now. It's basically just some heavy ass S-hooks. I crimped them shut, as you can see. Big heavy chain. That's how I did this one for now. I was going to do the L brackets along the side. It's a good thing your light's working because my battery's almost out.
Star spotter in the house, baby.
Save me when it comes to the light. But yeah, I'll probably end up later doing the brackets, but as you guys know, I'm going to be popping off the Mars 1600. That's what's actually going to go in this place. This is here for now because I will be moving the plants over to start the scrog on them because they're going to be in veg. But trust me, I'm going to take the Mars 1600 and put it in veg and also do the scrog, so I'll be able to do a full good report of the Mars 16 in veg before I do flip. So I'm going to have quite a few weeks of scrogging it, the 1600 in veg. So this is just temporary because I want to move the plants over here and get them moved in so I can plan things, because I might actually build a double scrog. The problem I had with Monster Train was I needed a double scrog. The colas on that sativa got too heavy and they started leaning over, which I still got kick-ass yield. It didn't hurt the plant any, but thing is that could have been a bad deal if that would have happened with 2 more weeks of flowering to go. So and trying to yo-yo with a 5x5 scrog net, I can't get back to the back areas. I'd be using sticks and all that crap. That would be a bad scenario. So doing a double scrog will save you, because the top one is strictly for holding bud weight. So you pretty much want to put it, 8 to 10 inches above your bottom scrog. Your bottom scrog is to form the plant, and it actually does help support the nugs a little, but not as much as a double. A double will really support them when you start doing your 2-week flush. If you're doing flushes, if the plant starts getting soft on you, it'll help.
It will. I noticed.
It'll support them big time. So that's how I did a chain. Like I said, this is temporary. Hopefully next couple weeks the 1600 will be in here. At the latest, I'll have the plants in here by this weekend. That'll be worst case scenario. Still have to do some clean out of the mess from Monster Train. In my earlier videos, I explained that's key. A clean grow room is key. There's nothing you can do as you're flowering. Like, I couldn't just lift her up and clean underneath it. As you can see where she was sitting, that's her stains of her ex-life there. But there's nothing you can do while you're in the middle of flowering. But the key is sanitizing all this stuff down, getting all the dust out. I mean, I don't have any bug issues ever, so hopefully I don't get any in the future. But my number one thing is cleaning. So that's my next project. Got to clean and build the scrog for the right side. We're going to have a double grow off. We're going to have 3 144.3s growing up against one Mars 1600, which it's not really a competition between the two, but what I originally wanted to do was have 3 144.3s over Monster Train. That was the original idea, but I had those 5 train wreck that I was going to throw away, and I was like, what's the point? Just throw them in flower. So I ended up taking that 3rd fixture and used it on those. But see, I wanted to actually see for a 5x5 what 3 144.3s will do. So we will find out. I'm sure it's going to kick major ass compared to just going off of what 2 did. So look forward to that. Appreciate you guys watching. We got to say our goodbyes to Storm Spotter. He's going to be on his way back to his temporary state.
My land of destination so far.
He'll be making his way back here soon. Join us Coloradoans once again.
Yes, sir.
So it's been great having him around.
Just acting goofy that night for the clipping, but for all everybody out there, 420 Not Mag and 420 Mag. I want to say hi, peace, and happy growing, and I wish you all the biggest plants and the biggest nugs.
Cool. And with that, we're gonna get on out of here. Y'all have a good one. Colorado's finest. This is the DIY multiple light linking system. That easy. I'm out.